Hey everyone, I've been playing the Season 15 PTR today, and I have to say that there are quite a few things in this patch to test, but I wanted to go ahead and at least give you a first impression of some of the more simple things like the items and give you my thoughts about what I've seen so far with those and if they're going to be very exciting. So the first thing I was looking at are the new items that were added to the Season 15. There were several from previous Diablo games here, and most of them just aren't super exciting. This one right here, the Nemesis bracers, is one example of, like, I just really don't know what the use case is for this right now. There could be one that someone finds, but right now I don't see it. You're just adding extra elite packs to shrines. There's could be something in the game I'm just not thinking about, but not anything I've noticed right now that would be really great. A weapon like the furnace, though, I think is going to be really amazing. Whenever this is quite a bit bigger than any aspect you can get on a two-handed weapon. Most of them are going to be maybe 120 to 150%. Well, this one's going to be up to 260% to elites. Now, that's the biggest thing you're facing in the tower or the pit, and I think bosses get counted as elites as well, or they should be. So this should hurt them as well, which will definitely help a lot on bosses. The funny part here is that this weapon is not maxed out at 260%, so I'll need to find out if that's a bug or not, but right now that is showing us 227. It's kind of funny. Right here, the NGM, I know you're probably looking at this one and saying, well, isn't this another sword in the game, the Eldrine? And it is. This was the original version of that sword from Diablo 3. So what did they do to that sword? Oh, here it is. They actually changed it to attacks will smite enemies with less than 35% health. This weapon may be kind of useless going forward. I'm not sure what smiting enemies at 35% health means. Sometimes that's an execute, but sometimes it just could be damage. So I'm not sure, but this is what you will want to be looking for now if you used to look for this sword. So the NGM is still pretty good. This sword probably not so good. Henry's Prequisition. It's a cool little cat offhand, and it actually makes sounds when you move it. I don't know if you all can hear that, but it makes sounds. And it's kind of cool with that. But is the ability very good? Probably not. It's mostly on non-dex classes, so I'm not sure how this will benefit anybody that's not using dex. I think it did add like 500. Well, it doesn't show it here because I don't have a weapon on that's doing it, but I think earlier when I tested this, it gave me like 500 extra stat, but it's not going to do it now because I don't have the right combination in my inventory, but the cat does make sounds. It's pretty cool. The Squirch Blouse is a rework from another Diablo 3 item, and I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you can make a build or something around this. It's just basically if you don't take damage, you do a lot more damage, but you also, when you get hit, take a lot of damage. So you're going to take up to 50% damage, and then you're going to deal 65% more damage, which is really good. It's bonuses lost upon losing life. So, you know, barrier classes or classes that just you're not getting hit a lot might be really cool, but if you get hit, it's not going to be so useful, and you'll get hit really, really hard. You're going to need to bulk up your defenses if you're going to use this item. The Stone of Jordan is an item I think could be cool. I was playing with this earlier, and I think there's potential. It's not a huge damage bonus, but there's some other items you can work with here, and one of them's right next to it, the Leoric's Crown. But I think there's some other items you can maybe work in, but it basically is going to give you 33% more damage for an element that is your highest resistance, and it equals all your resistances out. So if you need defense, and I've had a video on defense here just recently, that this could be really good to get you started, and as you bulk up, maybe you don't need this anymore, but it'll keep you alive and probably get you to Torment 12 pretty easily, because you'll have a boatload of resistances that will be there, plus you'll do a little bit extra damage. So it's a pretty cool little item, I think, and I think using it with something like Leoric's Crown, which counts as a jewelry, so when you put gems in it, it will get the bonus. It's 130%. 1149 resist to all from 500, so that was pretty big, and then 8049 for a regular one that used to be 3500, I believe. Yes, 3500. So that is huge. And if you pair this up with your Stone of Jordan, you can get a really high resist on that. So I think that's a really good combination there. So I think there's some promise to a couple of these, but most of these I just don't see much play in on that. The next thing I want to just go into quickly here are the Splinters. I have not had a chance to really test these out because I don't know if it's just my PTR or what's going on. I submitted a bug. Every time I leave town, these disappear from my inventory. Even if they're on my gear, they go away. So that's real annoying. These are cool though because they do give you primary resistance, which is bigger than that gem I just had. It's bigger than the Grand. I think it's slightly smaller than a Herodric. No, Herodric is 3,500, so this one's 43. Well, these are the unique ones. There's different versions like Magic, Rare, Legendary. So these are the top level ones, so they're pretty big. And so that's a lot of resist. And then you get these bonus, and then you have to give up something. So this one's 35% attack speed and critical chance, but you also increase your primary resistant resource cost by 30%. You deal 100% increased damage, but lose 100% critical strike. I mean, there's risk rewards here, but I think these could be, just from looking at my stat sheet after this, like right now I'm at 69, 6, and 30. If I go put this in the fire one, not only do I get more fire resist, now it could put me at 100% and 65. So I think that's really good. And if you're on a build that can get, as you see here, primary resource is going to be increased by 30%. So it's going to cost me a lot more, but I'm going to be able to do a lot more with it. So I think there's potential with these to be really cool. Now, you may have a question of, do these work in Leoric's crown? Well, you can put them in there. They are jewelry because the crown does count as jewelry. It does not count as a normal helmet. You do get the resistance from it, but as you can see, when I put this on, you don't get the bonus. This bonus came with a 12% attack speed, so that's why it went up on there, but you don't get the bonus from the gem. So I don't know if that's a bug or not, because if it's not, as you can see here, there's one that is like 100% more damage. You would do 230% more damage. I think that's a bug on the tooltip, but we'll find out as we go further into the PTR or when it releases. If it's not a bug, I think that makes this crown just a game changer, because then you will want to put these splinters in the crown and still have some others over here. So that might be something that's really cool there. Something else that I noticed real early here, and I noticed it when I was opening up my stash for unique charms, is there are now mythic unique charms in the game, which I realized was in the patch notes, but they have a different color than the iconic mythic charms. These are all the iconics here, like Grandfather, Doombringer, Tyrael's Might. Some of these could be really cool. Some of these are not going to be that cool. Like I don't know if you're going to want Doombringer or Tyrael's Might. I just don't think those are going to be like really game changers. But then like Grandfather could be cool to get 120% extra crit on, especially if you're wearing the Stone of Epiphany, and you get to wear 3 of these. I mean, and your build is just like you get 3 on, and then you can wear 3 of these. I mean, you could wear Starless Skies. I mean, there's just a lot of potential with those, but you also get the regular mythics. You cannot craft these as of right now. Even if you put 3 in there, you don't get it. You just don't get it. It doesn't work. You would just get a regular item. Yeah, you just get a regular MGM. Now, the upgrade to Mythic is also here. And so if we go and put an item in here and we want to upgrade to Mythic, it's going to keep everything that's on this item. So it kept everything, and it maxes it out, and it puts it at, even the power at max, everything's maxed out. So once you upgrade to Mythic, the catch is you can only wear one of those at a time. You cannot wear more than one of these at a time. You can still craft from the blacksmith, and they did change the cost here. There's no more gold cost. It just costs sparks, and it will give you any mythic here. You just keep getting them. Oh, this is not supposed to be in the PTR, but it gave it to me. This is the Reaver, so it does not have a power on it, but this is one of the other new items. but it does not have a power right now. So it's not supposed to be in the PTR. It did appear, but no power associated with it. And so as you see here, you can get any unique though for Mythic from that. And then you still have the jeweler crafter here, but this one does require runes and sparks. So 3 sparks and runes, which I do think that that's kind of costly, but you can more target there. This is not targeting, but it only costs sparks, and it costs 3 sparks to do that here. And then if you want to upgrade in this, it is 5 sparks to upgrade here, 5 on that one, and an ancestral item. So that is the Mythic changes that they have here. So one other thing I wanted to touch on was single resistances were supercharged. They are now like 3,750 on this item. They're across the board, single resist was buffed. All res is still low. And if you go here and you can search and you go to like enchanted item, the resistances fall between that range for the standard range. The GA is a little higher, but then the all resist is 400. So the catch here is the 3,000 is bigger than a whole bunch of 400s together, but you get one big resist, and this can be put together with, like I said, the Stone of Jordan earlier, where if you just want to pump one resist really high, they all get you get the whole thing. So that's a combination there that you can use to boost your resistance. So if you go and get like 16,000 fire resist, well, all your fire resist now is going to be 16,000 on here, on the defensive one. It's up here. So all these will be like 16,000. So that's the benefit of doing that, is now you get these big single resists. I will say that though, they do appear on all your gear a lot more often, it seems like now. So there's a lot more resist to get. So either way, I think it's a good change overall. So lastly, I have been playing around with some of the builds and the changes to the Warlock specifically. The Lunatic Warlock, which I played a lot of in Season 14 and 13, has definitely been nerfed, but it's still there. I still did a 135 earlier, but it's definitely nerfed. It's not as strong as I was, I can tell. But a 135 is still good. I can do Torment 12 very easily on it. The Apocalypse build and the Tyrant's Grasp build seem very strong. The Dreadclaw, one of my other favorites, is not very strong right now, and I will have a video on that, specifically on Warlocks, and I'll try to touch on some other classes, but the Warlock's the one I've kind of been focusing on right now. So as soon as I get some more information on that, I'll get there. So please leave comments below though if there's any questions that you have, anything that you want to know from the PTR, so I can look into it. There are a lot of bugs in the PTR, as you saw there, where my items just disappeared with the splinters. I hope to get that fixed. I also can't test, or I haven't been able to find the challenge dungeon stuff or anything. I don't fully know if they put it in the PTR yet, but I didn't find anything on the open world, so more to come on that. But any comments you have or any questions you have, please leave them below, and I will get to those and try to answer those for you as quickly as possible while we have the PTR this week. And I do thank you all for watching, and see you next time.